Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 10th of February 2025. By the grace of all the sages and Bhagavan, Paramatma, residing in the heart of every being, we are able to continue our morning satsang with contemplation on the extraordinary teachings of Advaita Vedanta that we are focusing on specifically in the morning time in the Nitya Satsang. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to the Supreme Lord present in the heart of every being. We are examining the Mandukya Upanishad in many different ways from many different perspectives. The Upanishad is fundamentally aiming towards liberation. The Upanishad, as we have been saying, it is an extraordinary dialogue between an enlightened master, an awakened being that is called a rishi, and the shishyas, the disciples, those who are asking questions with great humility, reverence, and the answers are moving through the mind, the body of the rishi. It is not that the rishi is giving the answer. See, this is another one of the key points here. That's why the Vedas and the Upanishads are at the end portion of the Veda. They are apaurushaya. Apaurushaya means they are not created by the human being, by human mind. It is not of that type of creation. It is apaurushaya. It is revelation from the supreme reality. The supreme Brahman, the supreme Paramatma is shining in the mind of the rishi. And the rishi is transmitting that extraordinary truth to those who are sitting in front. It's showing the pathway, the doorway, the opening into that infinite consciousness. This is what is meant by this entire process of Upanishad. Upa means to go near. Nishad means to sit near. That's what that word means. Now, the teachings in the 108 Upanishads, and there are 10 major Upanishads out of the 108, are what is called Brahma-Vidya. Vidya means wisdom, knowledge. It's knowledge, but it's not, see, this word knowledge again is not exactly the right translation. Because in the Sanskrit, see, the words are used in a very precise and they are used very accurately to describe what they're talking about. When we say Gnan, Gnan is not information. Gnan has information, but it is not just information. Like, for example, if I read a paragraph, and every time in the morning I read something, some references here and there, that doesn't mean Sachin is a Gnani. That means Sachin may understand the meaning. Okay, that is informative understanding. But Gnan is intrinsic realization of the truth behind the language. That is Gnan. Gnan, a Gyani or Gnani, as the Gita says. Sri Krishna says, Gnani is my Atma. So, Gnani is one who remains absolutely free from the entrapment of Maya. Maya doesn't entrap the Gnani. Maya serves the Gnani. That's the difference. What does that mean, actually? Does that make any sense? What is Maya serving the Gnani? It means that the great existence that is around us, the yoni that is called, This entire sansar is called yoni. It is the garbha. It is the womb of creation. Creation is a womb within which each jivatma is given opportunity to experience the expression of Maya, the expressions of life. A jnani is one who doesn't reject the experiences of life, but can see through them as Parashakti, can see them as Parashakti. Parashakti means the ultimate one supreme Mahashakti. Everything is that same power, same dynamic Shakti in different Ananta Swarup hai iske. Mahamaya ke Ananta Swarup hai. That is a Jnani. And at the same time, simultaneously, is able to recognize the outside and the inside as abhed, as one. That recognition of the oneness between the outside and the inside, of course, automatically brings about balanced living in an integrative way. Automatically, there is optimal engagement across all dimensions of life. This is just basic stuff, the things that we talk about in our Angel Wing program. वो तो एक बहुत basic बात है in comparison to this. This is now going beyond, going into the Brahman itself. Those things are preliminary. Balancing all 12 dimensions and getting rid of all the disturbances. That's like, वो तो बहुत सामान्य बात हो गई. Which may seem like a very big thing, which it really is in most people's lives. But from Brahmic point of view, that is like a very kindergarten level prerequisite. Of course, your life is balanced. Of course. Kya badi baat is? Of course that there is a full integration of energy within. See, assuming all that has happened, the Upanishad begins with that. Assuming that's there, and if that is not there, we have to make that happen through whatever sadhana and all those other things that we talk about. That is necessary. Otherwise, this becomes only hypothetical. This just becomes like some good concepts and ideas. It's good to know them, good to listen to them, talk about them, but to realize is a different matter. To realize we have to have balance in life, total balance, mind, body, brain balance in 12 dimensions. All of that is necessary because the mechanism has to be ready to flow the Brahmic state. I'll give you a simple example. Now this Windows 11 has come about, right? Let's use a world from day-to-day example. Now these new computers have come about. So Windows 10 is slow and it's not even, it's nowhere near. Now Windows 11, the whole computer system is rebuilt from the inside out with this new operating system. This has been around now for the last 2 or 3 years, something like that. But for all the computers to work at their optimal for all the programs to work at their optimal capacity, the Windows 11 has to be installed, has to be updated. All those things have to be there. The hardware has the software. The hardware is also constructed in a certain way. And then there is the preparation. The preparation is what? The preparation is to load the proper software. So it's like that. We have to prepare the hardware, the brain, the body, the mind, the yogic practices, all those things. These are preparations for the software. What is that software? Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, the great teachings of all the Mahatmas, of the great sages, rishis, that they're teaching the language that they're speaking in the Sanskrit language and other colloquial languages also, that which is expressing the Brahman in the Shabda Brahma form. That is the software that goes into the mind of the Bhakta, the Sadhaka, the Mumukshu. And then that software has to function. In fact, it can only function adequately if the hardware is optimal and properly constructed, just like a computer. Doesn't matter how well Windows 11 may be as a program. If the computer is damaged, there is some problem, electrical problem in the hardware. Kuch screen, green screen aata hai, blue screen aata hai. This, some things are flickering here and there. This is the problem with most people. We have our internal mechanism of the antakarana, the indriyas, the antakarana, the brain, the mind, the body, the senses. It is not tuned properly. It is not. Let's put it in a positive way. It needs to be retuned, fixed essentially, so that the download of Brahma-Vidya can absolutely resonate without any kind of distortions and distractions and agitations and all the mess that can happen. It happens when you have a hardware damage in the computer. How much problem is there? Things are flickering. The power button isn't working. It's working half the time. This is not working. That's not working. Why? There's a hardware problem. If you call the technician, they say maybe it's a software problem. They say no, maybe it's a hard. Now we have to go to a technician. We have to fix it. Right? You have to send the computer off. They have to open it up and fix it. That is the whole thing about medical science and psychological practice and all the clinical practice, and that is trying to fix all the damage that is there. Those are all those clinical areas that has to be fixed. But after that is fixed, then we can be ready. Similarly, if then Sachin is only this, Sachin has only be concerned about one person, this person. Serve everybody. Attention 100% on oneself. Then realization is possible. Otherwise, it will not happen, right? So when attention is placed on one's own realization, not as an egotistical activity, but as an absolute essential focus of mind on one's own development, one's own awakening, that 100% focus, that will take us to the Buddha state. That is we become a Buddha. From a Buddhu to a Buddha. Simple, like Buddhu in Hindi means foolish person. Mind is foolish thing after all. It is like a child. It has to be groomed and trained to become a Buddha. Buddha means awakened person. How beautiful is this? You see, so each action that is performed, when the software is downloaded properly, wow, then we can use the software. So, for example, right now we're studying Mandukya Upanishad. Right now, we have been spending last 2 weeks on this, and we're going to spend the rest of this month on just verse number 1 in different ways to proper understand Aksharam, because that's what we're elaborating on. Aksharam, etad, these words, we're opening their meanings in different ways to better understand, to better expound upon them. The 3 avasthas, the 3 states, things like that. So as we continue to progress, these ideas that are being expressed, they are expressed for the sole purpose of trying to transmit the method, the process, the way of trying to awaken oneself into that state. That is why we are trying to do this. But the awakening from inside, that awakening from inside is only possible when the sadhak recognizes one's own deficiencies 100% where they are. And this is not easy. I have to see, this individual who is speaking has to see his deficiency as deficiency. That's not easy by itself. That's extremely difficult. So what is the sadhana for today? Spend the next 9 minutes talking about this. What is the sadhana? To recognize where is there deficiency in my life. Where am I going wrong? Where am I making mistakes? Where am I wasting my time? Where am I wasting my energy? Where am I thinking about things that are meaningless? How am I using my senses in a way that's keeping me bound further into the 3 gunas of Maya? Am I doing that? Who is it that is going to answer this question? Oneself only. And this is a conversation one can have with परमात्मा. भगवान की जो मूर्ति है, भगवत मूर्ति, गॉड की जो हम मूर्ति बनाते हैं, one of its very practical reasons behind having a murti is to have a conversation with the murti, is to talk to the murti. We are somehow just doing mantras and prayers and those things. That's fine. Have a conversation that, okay, this is where I am, and I'm talking to you. Again, I don't mean this in some psychiatric delusional thing. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about as an inner realization that what God wants from us, what is that Paramatma? Where are we? What the great sages have said. There's just three things actually. There is the supreme reality, the Brahman. Then there are the manifested Sadgurus. Thousands of them have come in the past and present today. And then there is just us, our own mind and our own life. And so the link with these three is the path to realization. Make the link. The link is where our mental mechanism is brimming with Brahma-Vidya, is holding Brahma-Vidya, and is churning Brahma-Vidya. Our mind is churning the trash of this world. In Gujarati, we say, Jagat no kachro. The trash of this world, it is churning in and out, in and out, in and out, constantly. And what is the result? The result is imbalance, negative emotions, lot of damage, chaos. That is the result. In Vachanamrut, Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan, in Garada Pratham 18, is absolutely emphatically clear on this point, that the five senses have to be kept within a range where the interaction is a purified interaction with the outside world. It doesn't mean one is not interacting, but one has to decide through Viveka, what is the range of interaction? Because that is what will determine what the antakarana is going to be brimming with. Take the computer analogy. When we actually reset the computer, sometimes that happens. You've heard me talk about that. I have to reset my computer. After some time, you have to reload all the programs. Why is that? Garbage itna sab aata hai isme. You have to just do factory reset. But if you do factory reset, you still have to reload all of the programs again. So it becomes a fresh reload. In the same way, in a similar way, the Brahma-Vidya can be loaded inside. That's a whole different matter. It has to be loaded. The verses of the Gita, the verses of the Upanishad. Right now, we're just talking about Mandukya verse 1. That's enough. Bahut ho gaya isme for realization. But we keep going. There's no end to that. Exposition continues. That is the seva. But the fact is, how much is it loaded? I have to ask myself. Have I loaded it inside? Like a computer program that is available, like take Office 365. You can say, okay, go to office365.com. You can download the program. It's downloaded onto the computer, but it has not been activated in the computer. See, now there's 3 stages of that. There's this on the server somewhere, the Microsoft Office program is available. I have a subscription for it, let's say. So I have to load it as a package, Microsoft. But by loading that as still, I have to open that thing. It said, click here to open that, and then it begins to open and it begins to load the whole program. Now you'll see, in one sense, it was already loaded in a dormant state. Now it has to be opened, it has to be opened. All the pieces have to be loaded. Then it is usable. Then the icons come up, Word and PowerPoint and Outlook and this and that. There are some 25 different icons for Microsoft Word. They all open up in that small package. It's like that. When we, first take a verse like the Mandukya verse or take any verse from the Gita that we love, Bring it inside. Remember it internally. Then open it. That is the next step, which most people don't do that step. So there's so many who may have even remembered the Gita. There are people like that. They have memorized certain verses, certain chapters, and they leave it at that. Okay, now I know the Gita. Okay, all right, that's fine. But you're just at step 2. Now you got to open the verse. How are you going to open that? Open kaise karenge? This is what we're trying to do every day in the morning here. We are taking Mandukya Upanishad verse number 1 and opening that thing. We don't want to just keep it, okay, this is what it says, and some rishi spoke this, and there's some little bit of exposition here and there, and go to the next foolish thing that we're going to do in our life. No. That doesn't lead to Brahman. That just leads to information. Thoda information, thoda recording, some little bit of conversation as some kind of a spiritual entertainment. That doesn't lead anywhere. Entertainment is not some listening to some Bollywood song and dancing a little bit and then going off and drinking some alcohol and pura ho gaya jeevan. Aisa nahi hai ye sab. This is something totally at a different. See, even those things are internalized in Rajogun. That is experience, right? But that is limited. This is talking about Brahman. To realize the Brahman, it has to be held inside. Then it has to be opened up. There's multiple stages here. Just like the program is loaded initially on the computer, meaning the computer is holding it. Then the user has to click that to open that package, and it opens up. Similarly, I have to load Mandukya Upanishad verse 1, load it inside. Have I even done that? The question, and then I have to click it and open that thing. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to open it in this month. And once it opens, you see what is actually inside there. My God, this is here. That's amazing. But even that's not enough. I can open Microsoft Word. I have Word open on my computer right here. I have Word open. I have 3 other programs open right now on this other computer. TK. So what? So what if you open the program? Do I know how to use that program? What do I do with it? Once it is opened, what do I do? Microsoft Word opens, now what? But the Word is going to just do everything automatic. I'm the user. It's a tool, right? It is to be utilized for some purpose. Similarly, the verses of the Gita, the Upanishad, the Brahma Sutras, the Ramayana, the Vishnu Sahasranam, all of it, it has to be opened up and it has to be utilized. Utilized in what way? It is utilized by the bhakta, where the truth that is inside the verses becomes our life. It's not simply that one is practicing what is there is part of it, but in reality, it becomes, it absorbs inside, it opens up, and our mental framework, our life itself, it resonates, it lives in that truth. The truth begins to brim open, spring open. Satyam param dhimahi. That param satya, it opens from inside. And this is where the sadhak, the mumukshu, makes a transition into the mukta state, the liberated living state. The mumukshutvam is the foundation. Without that, this is not possible. And this is not going to happen. This mumukshu, shuddha, tivra mumukshu, as Shankaracharya ji has taught us. Tivra mumukshu. Who wants only liberation. Living in the world with everything, no problem. Everything is where it is where it is. One has seen the limitations of the fruitive actions, seen the limitations of the sansar. Isme kuch baat nahi, nothing is new. Same thing is cycling again and again and again. What is new in that? Kuch naya hai nahi isme. So one rises above it. Same rag, dvesh, aham, mamat. Even with all the technological development, kya naya hai? Humanity has not evolved. Some few people have evolved. And leave it as, there's some purpose for that also. The main point is, I have to evolve. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry. Even the sansar, leave it alone. It's going to continue as it is. Don't bother with it. Serve it. wish well for all, but not to be stuck with any body, any body. Body is a bubble. It is not the Atma. Bodies come and go. Antabante ime deha nitya sukta sharirina. Bodies come. किसी के भी शरीर के साथ शरीर is not the reality. Sharir is a cover only. It's a form. Yes, we respect it. We have connection through the body. It is a connection with other people through the body as the Brahman, not connection with other people at the body level only. Then that is the Maya of Rajogun and Tamogun. That is why we have racism and sexism and all these hundreds of things that are there. The divisiveness is because of the lack of realization of the oneness, the unitive consciousness that is present in every situation at all times. We don't recognize it, then we are at the body level. And in the body level, there is the me versus the you versus this person versus that. All the differentiation, even though the diversity is there is conflict, there's negativity, there's judgment, there's hatred. These things have to disappear. There's no option in that for Brahma-Vidya. If somebody wants to live at that layer, like most people are, and creating all the chaos in the world, then they are not going to come out of the sansar. They will be born again and again and again. Countless times, up and down, the different species, different things. इसका कोई अर्थ ही नहीं है. Look at the scripture. Look at Shankaracharya ji's teachings. Look at Vedaras of Bhagwan Swaminarayan. Look at the Bhagavad Gita. Look at Jnaneshwari. जितने सनातन धर्म में जितने महापुरुष हो गए, एक ही मत है उनका. The cycle of reincarnation is because of all these reasons. And is that what say? It's a very serious question. What is going to happen to us, to our experience when we leave this body? What is the destination? Do we want to come back into this sansar again with all these different, with whoever there is going to be there, with the same battles and same issues and same experiences, and maybe they're more enhanced or maybe whatever they are. There's nothing new in any of it. It is within the boundary of the Brahmand. Doesn't matter. Even if humanity progresses, I'll just take another minute here and then we'll stop. Even if humanity progresses where there is the idyllic life and you can go to different planets and different galaxies even and go to wherever you want to go in the Brahmand, you're still only within the Brahmand. Still within we cannot go beyond space. Ye jo bhautik akash hai, how are you going to go beyond that? Only samadhi. That's why Rishi Munis recognize the futility of doing these things. They said that you can go with a rocket ship maybe someday or some extraordinary, maybe to different planets or maybe the center of the galaxies. Isme kya badi baat hai? That doesn't hold even a candle compared to these rishis. They are able to sit in dhyan and see billions of universes. So which one is greater? Taking a rocket ship and going to the center of the Milky Way galaxy, or the rishi in the Upanishadic times? And even today there are those who can sit only just for 2 minutes, close their eyes, Om, just chant Om one time, and they're so fully awake. And Ananda Koti Brahmand Akshar ke ek रोम में फिरते. वचनामृत में ये सेंटेंस लिखा है. So which one is greater? But see, we are nowhere near that level because of all of the mind that is so trapped inside the limitations of the sansar. It has to awaken. It has to grow. That is why Ganesh Ji is sitting on that mouse. That mouse is the mind, human mind. And the moment Ganesh Ji is, meaning the Brahma-Vidya, the Maha-Ganapati, the great Lord, he's in charge. When he comes, when we install these verses and bring them inside, then the possibility is there for extraordinary truths to open up. Baki kya hai isme? Even these big spaceships and whatever developments in science, whatever is there, that is the tiniest fraction of the Shakti of Devi. The tiniest fraction. It doesn't hold even a candle. It's necessary. We're living in the sansar, all that. But you can keep analyzing, keep analyzing. There's no end to the analysis of all of the different domains of knowledge. It's endless. But when the Atman is realized, Atma, and around the Atma, billions of galaxies are spinning. In the Swaminarayan Parampara, there was a Bhagatji Maharaj. You may be aware of this. In the Parampara, there was a householder devotee. He was a disciple of Gunatitanand Swami. And he had this realization of this Brahman and Atma. He says that I can see billions of universes around me. That is who we are. That is what the Upanishad is saying. It's lack of realize. We think we're this limited being with all these limitations. The moment all that falls away, the extraordinary reality remains. Even the body remains. It remains as it is. But there can be this a state of samadhi, and even the Gnan samadhi. So both are there. You begin to see, if you want, through Yog samadhi, kahan bhi ja sakte hain. That's why the rishis, they can just sit in their ashram and they are able to go anywhere. It is an internal journey, as opposed to the external journey. The external journey, there's no end. I mean, now there's a lot of discovery, galaxies and this and that, but there's no end to that. You can keep going, keep going, keep going. But that all that is outside is only a fraction of what is realized from inside. That is the trans-cosmic realization. Ananda Koti Brahmand, Akshar ke ek rom mein, Ananda Koti Brahmand, aur main wo Akshar hu. This is written Loya number 12, Vachanamrit. Loya is a tiny little village in Gujarat. Yeah, in the tiny village with few people sitting, Maharaj spoke these words. Yeah, amazing baat hai sab. Okay, let's stop here for now. Om Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Pujamulam Gurur Pradam Mokshamulam Gurur Krupa Om Ganganapate Namaha Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarashi Sarvadam Om Ganganapate Nama Om Divalingaya Nama Urdhvalingaya Nama Anandalingaya Nama Dvadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Nama Om Aim Brim Klim Chamundaya Viche Sarvamangala Mangale Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanyatrambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Om Rim Om Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha Om